Oh, he's getting it now.
Hey guys, welcome back to Heavy Metal Customs. This is part 2 of our Holley Sniper EFI install. Got Casey over here pulling plugs right now, and Bullet, I don't know what he's doing, but he's working. He's working. Get him, Bullet. Get him. Excuse me. But anyway, what I think the next step is get these spark plugs pulled out. We're checking them. We were going to clean them, but now we're going to go ahead and get a set. Casey's got them here in a magnet. What did you say? There were some auto lights?
No, those are
Champions.
Yes.
As y'all can see, them plugs look like carburetor's running a bit rich. Last time this thing run, they're pretty black looking, and they're regular plugs. We're going to hit the parts house and get some Autolite, just some regular platinum style plugs. It'll be a much better fire for this thing. I mean, we got a stock distributor, but we got this big A-cell super cool. It's kicking out some good voltage, and we got the fuel injection. So I think some platinums will be par for the course for this thing.
Be needed.
Here you go. You can have them, sir. Let me show you the few things I did get done off camera so you know where we're at on this install as well. Alright, I went ahead and we got some electrical done. Can't remember what all I got done last time, but I know this is new. We went ahead and run our hot wire over here to a side post terminal, and our ground wire, if I get my fingers in there, to this side post terminal. So that will hot up everything, and I believe everything's almost ready to go. We got to get these fuel lines on, and we still need one fitting. So I think what we're going to do this morning, make a run to the parts house. We're going to get some new plugs, try to get that fuel line, and get this fuel line fitting, and get this all hooked up and do a test, see if we got any leaks. During that process, now that we got all the plugs out, we need to turn the motor over, because I assume it's been sitting a while. I want to see some oil pressure come up before anything, and then we're going to check for top dead center, make sure our distributor's dropped in right. We'll recheck our firing order again. Go ahead, our timing marks are over here, and they're pretty easy to get to, so we'll get them marked with some white paint and recheck all of that before we do any type of trying to fire this thing up. Alright, Casey got both of the fuel lines hooked up, the main and the return. And what he's doing now, he's going to dump 5 gallons of gas in it. And what we did, we unhooked the blue wire off the fuel pump. And we just have these two here, as you can see by these high-tech design here. Oh yeah, I got a high-tech one for the positive too. But what we're going to do, basically, we don't want to hot up none of the EFI system, but we just want to run the pump. This old battery here is good enough to do that. And it's got 12.4 volts in it, which will be fine. This right here will tell us if we got any leaks. Let him get some gas in there, then we'll fire it up and see. Alright, you got 5 gallons in there, guys?
Yep, and a headache.
Alright, yeah, someone spilled some gas. Not pointing any fingers. Alright, we're ready to fire it up.
I believe so. Would you like to raise it up? Just double separate lines?
Well, we don't went through and put everything on and tighten it, so
Alrighty.
we're going to see what's going on. I'm going to touch it at first, make sure it's going to work. Oh yeah, that pump's kicking. Ready?
Yep.
She's pulling some pressure, I can hear it.
Clear.
Look out. You good?
Yeah, you're good.
Apparently we got some pressure going on. Not seeing anything yet, Casey. You good?
I'm not seeing anything. Go and grab a flashlight. I'll double check. It's not just pulling up somewhere.
So far, so good. Yes, you should always check fuel leaks with a cigarette in your hand, too. It'll help find them quicker. Right. Make sure there wasn't something wrong with you dumping gas. I smell no gas, man.
What do you say?
I have no leaks up top. You gonna raise it up and we check everything under?
I'm not seeing anything. I'm working with this. I got no plug or nothing anywhere. I can see the whole inside of the frame here, and I can see on top of the gas tank to the rear fender. I'm not seeing any leaks. And definitely it's pressurized.
Oh yeah, yeah, if you get the pressure on it, you can't even mash that hose. What did it say it was, 85 PSI? Something like that.
Way too much, yeah, but hey, rock and roll.
Alright, so we're gonna call this test good?
Yep.
Alright. We're going to unhook the pump, raise it up, and recheck 100% cases with the light, and they can see everything, and we got no leaks. That's pretty lucky. First time, no leaks.
Pull your bump.
Got a leak?
Yep.
I'm sitting there telling everybody we ain't got no leaks.
It's just now starting to drip. It's coming out of the end of the filter. The last filter after the pump.
Last filter out of the pump. Alright. Well, I'm glad I was talking to the camera and give it a few more minutes. So we're going to raise it up, check that, and check all the other clamps and make sure they're tight. And then we'll do another fuel pressure test. Alright guys, we run back through the fuel system, fixed the one leak we had, well Casey did, and fired it back up, and as of yet, no leaks, so we're good there. So what we're doing now, we have filled up the cooling system with just water. In case we have some leaks, we're not wasting any freeze. It's full, we already have one leak, which we got that fixed. Now what we're doing is we're just going to take the pressure pump. We'll bring y'all in there closer for some of y'all don't know what that is. Alright, this right here is a tester. I can test the radiator cap with it as well as the whole cooling system. What it'll do is pump up pressure on the system, see if we have a leak. No sense of running one and letting it build up pressure and being all hot. So what you do, basically you look at your cap. See this one here says 16 pounds. So this is a 16-pound system. So we'll just pump this thing up to the yellow. It says 15 to 16 pounds PSI. Cool. We'll do that, and then we'll hunt for leaks. You want to pump this up to pressure, or
Sure.
have you been kidnapped by that dog? Want to pet that dog? We don't need your help, okay? You're good. You're good. 16. Bullet, quit. Alright, well, we're gonna pump it up and do a check on the cooling system. And guess what? We do have a leak. But it can't be in a simple spot. We're having to take the power steering bracket off so we can see where it's coming from. It's right at the bottom of the timing chain cover. Really odd place for a water leak. But let us get that apart and we'll see what's going on with it. Alright guys, well the owner come by and said fix it. I mean, we knew he would, but I just wanted to recheck with him. There's what it looks like with everything off. You can see these holes right here. That is where the water comes through on each side. And what had happened is, here's the cover. This gasket had failed. Let the water run down in here, then seep out. Which also got water all over the timing chain itself. Now Casey's just about, he's got all of that cleaned up except for the oil pan pieces that he's got to take off and clean. And we're going to try, see if we can fix his thermostat housing. That's what he's working on now. It's got to be warped a little bit, so we're going to have to try to flatten it back out. This is the water pump. And I just got through cleaning all the gasket material off of it, so it's ready to rock. Next I'm going to work on the timing cover, then we'll order us some parts and hopefully get this thing back together and get it cranked up. Cool thing is we got to check top dead center and make sure our distributor is dropped in correctly, which it was. Recheck our firing order, so all of that's good to go. Alright guys, timing cover issue is fixed. We ended up buying a new cover because the other one had a crack in it. Casey got it all together. See, we filled it back up with oil. We added some transmission fluid. We have already pressure tested it, dumped the water out. We're trying to flush this thing out where it's been sitting some. And in case he's topping it off with water right now. Spark plugs are out, so as soon as he gets some water in there, we're going to spin this thing over and get some oil pressure up. Alright guys, in case you got it full of water, all the fluids are fine. Got the battery hooked up, and we do not have the EFI hooked up. We've not applied electricity to it yet. So all this is just cranking, the coil's unplugged, the wire's not even there, just so we can get up some oil pressure and make sure that that's working right. And this will be our first time even testing to see if starter works and the electrical works on that part. Alright, I'm going to hop in there. If something happens, snatch it and get the fire extinguisher.
I'm going to grab a fire extinguisher just in case.
Where's my light? Right here.
Sorry.
Ignition on. We got a little over a quarter of a tank.
Quarter?
Quarter
Quarter.
of a tank of gas.
Alrighty.
Alright, you ready?
Countach. No countach?
No countach. Hold on a minute. No crank. Huh, but it's already showing 20 pounds of oil pressure. That's not good. We got no crank. We know this wire here runs down and cranks the car. Is this orange wire, grab the test light or the meter and then see if that,
We've already tested that. We got nothing from it because it's not hooked up.
we haven't tried it with the key. That may be the one that actuates the actual starter.
There it is. Want a test light or the voltmeter?
Don't matter. These are the problems you run into, guys. stay. Contact, we got contact. Get there and act like you're starting it. I'm gonna see if electricity comes out of this one wire.
That's when I'm starting it?
Yeah.
Make the noises and all?
Yeah, you can make sound effects. That's good, though. Start. That's it. Okay, that wire comes from the ignition switch out here.
Good.
Now we gotta figure out which one of these actually, do you have a wire diagram? Can you pop one up on your phone? We're gonna pop up a wire diagram, guys, because there's 3 prongs on this that this wire could go to. I would guess it's one of the bottom prongs, but better safe than sorry. All right, well, give us a minute when we'll get that figured out. Then we'll see if we can get it to crank. All right, guys, quick check. It is the bottom plug. There's 1, 2, 3 on it. It's the bottom. Let's spin her and get some oil pressure up. Watch on the ground in case you get a massive leak or anything there. Contact. Good touch. Rest a minute, no pressure starting to climb. If I can get about 30 pounds out of it, then I'd be happy with that. Alright, everything looking good?
Yeah, I got the drop.
Okay. Guys, in my opinion, this is the best way to get your oil pressure up and the plugs out. You're not taxing your starter so much and stressing it out. It turns over a lot faster too. Contact.
Good touch. We have to hook up the battery for the charger.
Ended up, I only got about 20 pounds, but I don't want to sit here and wear out the battery, wear out the starter. Want to make sure that one was getting oil pressure, because we're putting a new sending unit, we're redone some of the wires there too, so all of that's working just fine, Chris. I've got it off of there, get this out of the way. We're going to get the battery up to charge now, and then we'll continue. Alright guys, while we're topping off the battery with the charge, what we're going to do next is check our ignition system. Yeah, I've yet to hot up the sniper, but we want to check our ignition system next. So we're going to go ahead and hook up the pull a wire in case it's going to throw the plugs in it. And we're going to see if we're getting any fire. And then after that, it's time to hook up the sniper EFI, go through everything, we'll find the hook again, and then see if things run, I reckon. Alright guys, we got them few little issues taken care of. And we had a couple wires we didn't go nowhere. It went, and just like I told you, this one here, that was actually the signal to activate the starter wire. We got that hooked up. Then we tried fire, we had no fire. Well, we had this wire hanging out. So Casey got the wiring diagram, and it goes into here. So, well, here. Same position, just on a double plug. So now we got good spark. So everything's ready to go. We're ready to plug up the EFI and get that all hinkled up.
I believe so.
Alright, let's do this. Alright guys, we just done a recheck on everything. Everything's looking good. No cigarette? That's okay, I smoke a big one.
You're not supposed to.
I don't care. You two can buy my plate. Alright, now next thing I need to do, we're on step 12, is go ahead and hook up the electric to the EFI. Everything's hooked up, right?
Yep.
Alright, so let's Like a sign post terminal, grabbing a bunch of crap off the top.
I was about to say, you ever show everybody the side post?
Yeah. Yeah, I showed that and I think I showed that in the last video if I'm not mistaken, where I wired all this stuff. Pretty ground.
Comment below if he's lying.
Yeah, really. There's only one ground. Everything else is already set ground. No smoke or nothing? Nothing in the outside the bathroom or something?
Look.
Everybody can get still over there. Alright, put the electricity up. Everything else we've got to do inside. Turn the key on, we got all this electrical right, little things that come on, then we'll go through all this procedure. So let's get in there and see what we got. Alright guys, it's our little display screen that we're concerned about. There we go, a little extra wire. Now it says if I turn the key on, it should light up. Hey, it didn't catch on fire. We must have something wired right. Alright. Step 1, select Wizard from the main menu. Wizards. Step 2, select your sniper system type. What type do we have? There's a ton of them here. Check our box, Casey. Do we have the 4150 Super Sniper?
Oh, there's the super.
I got the book right here. It probably says it, don't it? 550, 510. There's manuals for a whole lot of them. So which one have we got? What does the box say?
I got a 19-300 or a 526-8.
510, 550, 511, 516,
Got serial numbers on that?
550, 4 injection, 4150s. That's all it says. Alright, ours is this first one. So we hit next. Number of cylinders, all 8 of them. Next. Next, I said. Engine displacement. It's a 10. No, it's not. Oh, come on.
Track the, yeah, there
okay.
you go.
No, it ain't that big.
Oh, how did they make that thing go?
Oh, no. Touchy. It's not a 396. Get her down there to 360. $360. This thing's gonna make me mad real quick.
You touched the screen and it drug your slider over again.
Ah, that's what happened. Okay, let's see if we can get it this time. 360. Next. I said next. Okay, target idle speed. What's average idle speed for this one? Probably around 859.
Beats me.
We'll go about 850. This is stuff we can go in here and change later. Camshaft, stock mild. Power added, none. RPM, the sniper, okay, I know that, that's just regular. This right here, you go through, guys, it's a regular coil. We don't have a CD box, magnetic distributor, blah, blah, blah. There's slide bar. Do the Bob Seger thing here and turn this page. Okay, after answering all questions, press the start button. Please cycle the ignition to complete the operation. No leaks? You can hear the fuel pump clicked in.
I don't see no leaks, no.
I reckon that went right. Should after answering all the questions, press the start button to send the calibration to the ECU. Once this process is completed, you will see a screen indicating files have been uploaded. Once files uploaded, the ignition needs to be cycled. Well, it said cycle ignition, so I assume that's right. So, with the handheld still in the initial startup screen, crank the engine, look for RPM parameters, blah, blah, blah. All right? We don't know how close or timing or anything is, Casey. But, you ready?
Good, Josh.
I don't think the sniper did right. Hold on. Ignition's off. All right, let's do a recheck, make sure we ain't no gas leaks. Hopefully that caught that time. All right, you didn't see no leaks? Okay, you didn't see no leaks nowhere. Guys, what happened? I missed a step. Now what I need to do, turn the key back on. Home screen, select monitor icon.
Should start up.
Then select the monitor screen. You'll see an icon labeled initial startup. Select this. Okay, the engine RPM should say stall. GPS should read 0. At 100% it wide open. GPS works. Everything else is cool. Still initial starter screen. Crank engine, look at RPM parameters. Okay. Now this, we're actually ready to start. Alright, you ready?
Yep. That's everybody running low.
Got a little timing issue. We're gonna check it. All right, guys, got our timing figured out. It was 180 out. Unbelievable that I'd make some kind of rookie mistake like that, but hey, it happens. No biggie. Part of life. All right, Casey, I'm turning the key on.
Such a loud phone.
Okay, it brought me back to my screen like it was supposed to. All right. E-brake's on. Hopefully she's in park. I'm cranking.
Countach.
Everything cool?
Yeah, she's gonna be stinky, all the dust all over it and everything.
Oh, yeah. Alright, I think I know what the problem is. Right here it says RPM stop. That means that it's off.
Yeah. When you crank, it should read.
But when I crank, this whole screen goes black. So, what's that telling us? That's telling us that one wire I picked up that's supposed to be an ignition on is an ignition on, but it's not staying on when I'm cranking. The pink wire or whatever it was. So we're going to have to run back through and change that wire out. But I know we got it in time because it did fire up there for a second. But I'm going to turn everything off and we're going to hunt up that other wire and get it swapped out. All right, guys, we got that figured out, I do believe. So let's see. Hopefully this didn't lose its programming. No, it's back to where it's supposed to be. So we got a crank signal on our RPM now. Contact.
Countach.
We're not getting no crank signal on our RPM. Alright, let me go back through the wiring again. Be 100% sure I didn't leave something disconnected or do something wrong. Alright, round 3. We got a wire. Hot with the ignition on, hot while cranking. That's what they're calling for, so. Alright, hold on a minute, Casey. Let me read forward a little bit. As long as this thing starts showing RPM and runs, then we're fine. Next thing we're going to do is check the air-fuel ratio. But the biggest thing is, you gotta push key in all the way. Right, fuel pump is pumping. This is on. Throw that cigarette down where that gas is leaking. Alright, contact.
Countach.
Together.
For some reason that RPM still says stall, it's not reading it. Well, everyone, we went through that system 20,000 times and we still couldn't get no RPM signal. So we got Holley on the phone, and let me say their technical support is fantastic. They were very nice, polite, went over everything, helped us run back through it and try to figure out the problem. Turns out it wasn't us or something that we done. It is their fuel injection system. We just got a bad one. So now what we're going to have to do is box it up, send it back to Holley. They'll repair it, whatever they need to do, test it, and then send it back to us. Then maybe we can get the truck running and get this thing moving on its own power. But until then, we'll do some regular stuff, so look for another Warlock video. We need to finish up the interior. We've got a bunch of little things to do and stuff like that. So we'll stay busy for the most part. Well, everyone, appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully here soon we'll get that shipped off and it'll get back and we can get this thing on the road. Well, if y'all would, throw us down some comments. If you're able, click that super thanks below. And please like, share, and subscribe. Again, appreciate it much. Till the next one, we hope that everyone has a fantastic day.